didn't have a crazy game, and Mr. Pfizer, we kind of shut him down a little bit. He didn't have his like crazy impact game. Obviously, he had some yards and stuff, but I felt like for the most part, we played really tough on defense, especially the last three.
Oh yeah. So Aaron Rodgers, aka anti-vaxxer, is apparently an employee of the Johnson and Johnson Air or company, however they want to word it. Apparently, he works and is paid for by Big Pharma because he throws a football for the New York Jets, whose owner is Woody Johnson. He is currently the CEO of the J&J company, but the bigger conversation here, just truth, is the reason why these teams have been terrible for years. The Redskins, the Jets, the Dolphins. It's because the billionaires that buy them didn't make the teams like they did way back in the 60s and all that stuff, but they just view it as another property to make money off of, another source of income. They don't actually invest in these teams. They just want to extract more money from them. So that's the bigger conversation of why these teams are garbage. But apparently because he is a CEO and he is a billionaire and he owns the company, that he is employed by the big pharma air because he works for a football team throwing a ball. And sports media has always been just as slimy as Hollywood, as political media. It's all the same. They always got to make things about us versus them. They have to try to go extreme on the popular and correct opinion, right? For sponsors, right? To get all the clicks. They've been doing this crap for years. But before we get into Mr. Pfizer and Aaron Rodgers' legendary and very smooth backhand at Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Kansas City Chiefs, way back in 2020, Travis Kelce was one of the first people to actually be air quote hesitant about getting the poke because he has Crohn's disease, which is an autoimmune disorder, and his doctor wouldn't approve him getting it. But one night, one conversation, and probably a nice direct deposit into his bank, he became the biggest poke man boy at the time. But he just said it quietly. He wasn't doing the commercials like he is now. And so here's Mr. Pfizer's clapback at Aaron Rodgers, which isn't really a clapback. I think Travis Kelce is quite the entertainer. Um, for better or for worse, I think both for better, for worse, and worse, the NFL is turning more into WWE than maybe the NBA is with just pure activism. The NBA is the most toxic league in all of sports right now. Because first, I want to say it's not really Kelsey that's going after Rodgers, it's the media that's doing it. So I do appreciate the theatrical, classy ribbing that Kelsey kind of gives and takes. He's not the one that's really starting the drama; it's the media. But still. But I think Travis Kelsey kind of just laughed it off because he's got billions in the bank, because he's got the NFL having a plan for him. I don't know if they have a plan for him, but the whole Taylor Swift conversation is very interesting, which we'll talk about that later with Big Cat. But his comments were basically just, haha, I have a stash, and so does he. Who knew I'd get into the Vax war with Aaron Rodgers, which is definitely him playing dumb. Mr. Pfizer versus the Johnson and Johnson family over here, man. There's a big difference between him playing for a sports team and you taking money directly from Pfizer to do a cringy ass commercial for. It's just such a low blow the way they attack anyone that just has a normal individual opinion, especially when you're a quarterback. You can say whatever you want if you're a wide receiver, if you're this or that. Usually, when you're anything but a quarterback, the media doesn't ask you questions. But when you're a quarterback, they have to ask you every question. Aaron Rodgers wasn't allowed to just not. He did. He kept his opinion to himself. He was asked every single game, "Are you vaccinated? Are you poked? Are you poked?" This is not a good subject for me to do for my first video. But anyway, that's the difference between being a quarterback and not being a quarterback. Yeah, I used to love watching these guys back in the day. Big Cat and PFT. Back when I was a big sports nerd. And ironically enough, we were just reading a Pro Football Talk article, which is why the co-host, a part of my take, calls himself PFT, because he is mocking how terrible they have always been. So anyway, independent voices are super important to fight back against these dumb media narratives. And part of my take being the biggest sports voice in all of really sports entertainment, because they really do represent the viewer. They represent the fan, the frat boys. So really funny clip. Let's watch.
Football. This is why I fight for the NFL. People don't realize, like, first they take our Sunday Night Football and we said nothing. Like, this is Taylor Swift is a problem for the NFL. We have to unite as a group of fans. We can't let this happen.
She's bad for football.
She's got to stop going to games. What's their next Chiefs game? I hope it's in. Fuck. They play the Vikings. All right, she's not going to go that game, is she?
No.
I think she starts her international tour soon.
Good. Go. Get out of here. Scram. You know what? All right, I'll say this. If Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift release a sex video, I'll consummate this relationship and be like, fine, you guys can have sex. You can be boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't buy it until I see some dick in vagina.
Do you think is she?
I'm saying that right now.
Is she pregnant?
P and V.
I haven't seen her drinking at these games. I saw her drinking some juice.
P and V. Otherwise, it's not really
drinking some juice.
Yeah. Anyone with me? Should we demand it?
I want to see.
I want to see P and V. I want to see insertion.
I want to see P and A.
Yeah. So they're mainly talking about the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift relationship, which is really no different than the Aaron Rodgers stuff, because these people always talk about, why is our entertainment getting so bad? And I'm not sure what kind of channel I'm going to be. It's not going to be just a strict sports channel, but I do like sports, like movies, like video games, like TV. The point is all of it is getting bad. And most people are blaming ESG, whether you believe ESG or not, whether you think it has a big role in it or not. The point is these big companies and hedge funds and people who own these corporations, they want to control the consumer. They want to condition us to accept certain opinions so that we can all fall in the same marketable, I guess, bar on a line graph, really. And so that's where all this push comes from. And it's important that we have these big voices like Big Cat, independent voices that can fight against this stuff. Say, no, we're the fans. You cater to us. We pay for season tickets. We buy jerseys. You know, sports people, we buy the jerseys. You know, we spend the hundreds of dollars a month, a year, 6 months, really, to watch Red Zone. We buy the comic books. We buy the video games. We buy the DLCs. That's another big thing. We, the fans, are what you should be catering to, not the, non-existent person who's not interested in what you are selling. That's how free markets work. And the funny thing about all these media sources is they used to be ran by actual football scholars, man. They used to be run by people who used to be coaches, who used to be ex-players, who've been watching the game for years, but now they're just political hacks. Like, this isn't funny at all. This is not funny. We both have mustaches. Oh, like, that's supposed to be that's your joke. And this is supposed to be the popular opinion that everyone apparently has. But no one cares. People are slowly not caring anymore. And I mainly made this video because I just thought it was really dumb that playing for a football team that owns an evil corporation does not make that employee an employee of said corporation. We all work for companies and support businesses that support some rich asshole that's doing something evil with our money. Okay, it doesn't make Aaron Rodgers a hypocrite because he works for a company that, we don't like or we disagree with what they're doing. And yeah, just those comments really pissed me off. And I just wanted to talk about that. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching this video. I'm a very opinionated person and I'd like to hear your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Bye now.